Hello, this is the course reflection. So basically, I'm going to summarize the semester first and emphasize what was created and accomplished. I think in this semester we learned a lot of different sort of aspects and factors in environmental justice and in the whole movement. The modules we went through sort of highlighted different parts of the problems of environmental injustices and sort of built off of each other. We learned about how place matters to your health, your zip code affects your health, how like the toxics that are a huge problem to your health, and more about sort of like toxic waste sites near you. We learned what environmental justice was in general and about environmental racism. And then we went back to the diseases and environmental pollutants that you can get due to where you're living because of environmental racism, etc. We did the Just Video project, which I really enjoyed, which was focusing on a specific element of environmental justice issues that we wanted to pursue with a partner. And I personally did equitable park access, which I'll talk about later. We also did more on toxicology and what exactly you're putting in your body and whether or not you sort of know what it is you're consuming. And then lastly, our last unit was the social determinants of health and how stress affects the body and sort of the hierarchy of society and how that relates to your health. So the work that I am most proud of is definitely the Equitable Park Access video that I made with Jane. It was a really tough, long project that I am really proud of because we spent a lot of time planning it, a lot of time filming, and a lot of time editing, and I feel like it came out really well. And I think it said what we wanted it to say, and I think it ended up being a good method for communicating our thoughts and our conclusions surrounding park access and how that works specifically in San Francisco. The issue that sort of inspires me the most to act for environmental justice was probably in this last module, the stress module, because I saw a lot of tangible steps that we could do in the stress unit. For example, we learned about the importance of a work day and of vacations, of like having a living wage instead of the minimum wage as it is now. Universal health care, just all of these sort of small-ish steps that are pretty straightforward in my opinion. Like I sort of know how to fight for that as opposed to some of the much larger ideas that we've also learned about in this class. And I know how to get at those issues a little bit more easily, I think. So that was definitely a big source of sort of a call to action for me. Challenges and obstacles I faced in this course. I felt really behind at one point, and I think I wasn't really expecting, people talk about like how hard junior year is, and I wasn't ready for it, and this was the class that I ended up sort of dropping the ball in a little bit because it's more difficult since we don't see each other in person. And that was really hard, and I ended up overcoming that by catching up, by having this sort of 1 or 2 weeks where I made myself a schedule. I did 2 or 3 little assignments per day, and I just worked at it really hard, and I sort of pushed my other classes aside instead. And that was I feel like I'm also pretty proud of that I was able to catch up, and it feels good that I was able to get it done and still learn, but it definitely wasn't ideal. And I think that the major thing I would have done differently in this course is to sort of be more on top of my work and to ideally have caught up over a longer period of time or not have fallen behind at all. I also think I would have had a little bit of a different mindset about this class. Coming in from having done a different blend ed, in my other blend ed class, I sort of did the work over the weekend, and I would definitely quarter out a big portion of the weekend to do the work, but the way things were due and the way things were set up, it made most sense for me to be doing the work in chunks each weekend. And for this class, that definitely was not working and didn't really work. In this class, there was sort of a lot of smaller assignments instead of the big ones of the other class, and so I think I wish that I had sort of known the differences in the blended classes, which is just, I should have prepared for that better, and so I would have changed my study habits a little bit and tried to work on the blended a little bit each day instead of doing it in chunks as I had beforehand. Takeaway conclusions. I really like this class. I think that I learned a lot about environmental justice, and it's definitely made me want to pursue something. Like, I have my sort of different areas. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but I have different areas of interest, and I think that this class has made me want to relate one of those other areas to environmental justice matters in some way or another, whether or not it's by like writing and including matters, like including talking about stress and how it affects us, or whatever I end up doing. I think I just want to include an element of this because it's such an important issue that's affecting so much of the U.S. and the entire world, really. So, yeah, thank you. And you see my little drawing this time. I have a person, I guess that's me, getting sparked an idea while looking at the world, and the world has a lot of pollution in it right there. And I can really draw like environmental racism and other environmental justice issues, but imagine that as being part of the world, and this person's getting their ideas sparked. So, thank you.